You've been lied to about what it takes to buy rentals. You do not need perfect tax returns, a W-2, or a squeaky clean debt-to-income ratio to build a real estate portfolio. In fact, banks are turning away some of the best investors, business owners, freelancers, people with tons of write-offs because they don't fit the conventional box. Today, I'm going to go over how you can use 3 DSCR strategies that the pros are using to double your cash flow while everyone else keeps getting declined by their local bank. I'm Ryan Dement with Chasing Financial Freedom podcast, and if you stick with me, you'll walk away with a DSCR playbook that you can use on every single deal. Debt service coverage ratio is just that. Does the rent cover the payment, which is the mortgage payment? Gross rent divided by total monthly payment, and total monthly payment consists of principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and HOA fees, if any. So let's go over an example. Real simple. Rent is $2,500 a month. The payment is $2,000 a month, which includes PITIA, period. That's a DSCR ratio of 1.25, or 25% more income than the lender is requiring. Most lenders want 1.0, but you're now seeing them now want 1.25, 1.35. Why does this matter to you? If you're self-employed, heavy on write-offs, or your income fluctuates, a DSCR lets the property qualify more than your tax return. You still have to have good credit. 640 or higher, of course. Higher is better. It's going to get you a better rate. You will also need reserves, anywhere between 3 and 6 months worth of reserves in the bank. It's not money that you're wiring at closing. It's money that needs to be shown in the bank. God forbid if something happens, you can show the lender that you can actually withstand your mortgage payment for that period of time. Here's some trade-offs. DSCR loans are not a magic sauce or a magic loan. It has trade-offs. It has downsides. It also has some good stuff we'll talk about. Rates are usually 1 to 1.5% higher than what you get at your local bank through a conventional loan. You will often see a prepayment penalty anywhere between 1 and 5 years. So this is not free money. You just have to know how to play with the money. If you're only going to hold a property for, let's say, 3 years, and you get a 5-year prepayment penalty, you just ruined your deal, because you're going to have to pay that prepayment penalty in year 4 or year 5 whenever you decide to sell. Now, if you had a 3-year prepayment penalty, you would have been okay. And let's get into the 3 strategies. Strategy number 1, foundation. Master your financing to widen the spread. Here's big idea for strategy number 1. You double cash flow first by lowering the payment, not by overhyping the rent. Your profit starts when you structure the deal, not when you get the keys. The goal with DSCR loans is to shrink the payment, widen the gap between the payment and the rent. Here are the levers that you can actually pull. Down payment, yes. 20% down can work, but what about 25 or 30% down? Is a power move that you can swing to, but also when you put that extra 5% down, you put yourself in a different category with the lender to where they start seeing less risk and they'll give you a better rate. Typically, it's going to be anywhere between 1/8, 1.125, and maybe 20 bips, 0.20. But if you go even further and do that 30%, now you're starting to look at 25 to 40, maybe even 50 basis points. Less risk, more reward. On a $300,000 property, example, going from 20 to 25% down is $15K less in debt, around $100 a month saved at a 7% rate. The other option, I don't like this because you need to make sure that you're getting your ROI out of this, is a rate buy down. You can buy down the rate with points. 1% of the loan might cut your rate by 25 basis points. Typically, that's what it typically does. So also, if you're holding long-term, paying more upfront for a permanent lower payment can be huge. Just know your break-even period. So if you're going to only hold the property for 5 years and it's going to take you 6 or 7 years to actually pay back those points that you bought your rate down with, it's not worth it. You just need to stay at that rate. If you're keeping it longer than that, let's say 8 or 9 years, it makes sense. Say rent is $3,000 and your first estimate has the payment at $2,500. DSCR ratio 1.2. Good, but not amazing. How about this? You bump your down payment up. Now the payment is $2,300 a month. In your DSCR ratio is 1.3. Let's say you use seller credit to buy down the rate. Payment drops to about $2,150. Now you've got a DSCR ratio of 1.4. You just added about $350 of extra cash flow a month without touching a single floorboard. But do you guys see how you can pull these different levers? It's very easy. And yes, it could be costly if you don't match the deal up with your long-term strategy. Don't be one of them. Here's what I want you to do on your next deal. Ask yourself this on your next deal. Did I just accept the first structure the lender gave me, or did I play with the down payment rate and widen my spread? Last time I checked, you're in the business to make money, not to lose it. Take the time, work the deal, find the different strategies that will work. If none of these work, maybe this is a bad deal. Strategy number 2, Accelerator. Boost NOI like a CEO. Big idea that we want to discuss. Think like an operator, raise income, cut expenses. Once you have financing set up, stop thinking like a borrower and start thinking like a CEO. 2 levers that you need to take a look at on how you're going to pull them. 1, income up, expenses down. I know that's basic, but guess what? It works. It works on any deal that you're dealing with. On the income side, earn any rent increases. Don't ask for more just because you want it. Simple, high ROI upgrades. Fresh paint, nicer lighting, better hardware, light kitchen bath refresh. If you actually own a multifamily, maybe it's a quadplex, or maybe you own 5 doors or 6 doors, think about coin-operated or app-based laundry, paid parking or storage, pet rent, admin fees. On the expense side, shop your insurance every single year. Insurance has been going crazy the last 3 years. I've seen plenty of deals get killed because insurance came in too high. On multifamilies, look for RUBS. Basically, you're putting all the costs onto your actual renters. Billing tenants for their share of water, trash, instead of eating everything yourself on a monthly basis. I read an article a few weeks back that said, once you started doing that and putting the utilities share into the tenants' names, usage goes down anywhere between 25 and 40%. That's huge. Some examples. You buy a duplex making $3K a month gross. but after expenses, NOI is only $1K. How about you put $7K into cosmetic fixes, bump the rent $200 per unit, add paid storage and laundry, and shave $50 off of insurance. Now your NOI is closer to $1,600, approximately 60% jump in actual money you keep in your pocket. Guys, if you like running these numbers, this is where a simple DSCR and cash flow calculator becomes your best friend. Last but not least, guys, strategy 3, multiplier, scale with DSCR refis and portfolio thinking. Big idea for strategy 3. Stop thinking one deal at a time. Use DSCR to recycle capital and blend strength. This is where you go from a hobbyist to a pro, using DSCR to recycle your money and scale. The BRRRR and DSCR method. Classic BRRRR method: buy, rehab, rent, refi, repeat. You buy a distressed property, rehab it, stabilize it with a tenant, then refi with a DSCR loan based on the new higher value and actual rent. I know it's nothing new, guys, but a lot of people don't do it. If you executed well, you can often pull out most of or all of your cash and then go do it again. Now there's the key word. If you executed well, if you bought the property right, you got the right financing up front. I don't know if you did hard money or private money. We do both of those. We also do bridge loans, which will let you do the rehab work, but you have to be careful on how much you leverage the property. Hard money lenders are letting you go up to 65, 70, and 75%. It just ain't going to work. You're leaving no meat on the bone to be able to refi out and take cash out. You could pay off the hard money loan, but you're not going to make any money. So be very careful on the front end in how you actually leverage. Let's say you have one rental with a killer DSCR ratio of 1.6, and you get a new deal that's tied at 1.05. Instead of getting declined on the second deal, some lenders let you look at both together as a blended DSCR rate of 1.3. The strength of the property rescues the other property and lets you move forward. If you know that first deal that you have put together is going to start paying dividends for you. And what do I mean by that? Is that you can actually raise the rents and you'll get yourself into a safe DSCR range. You want to know why? They're going to cross-collateralize your properties, which means that the first property that's struggling falls apart and you can't pay it. They're going to go after the second property that is strong as you know what and take it from you. So you've got to be very careful about cross-collateralization. We are going to wrap this all up. I want to recap from my perspective and write to you guys. You don't need to have a perfect W-2 to build a portfolio you need. You don't need to have a perfect tax return. You don't have to have a perfect credit score. But I did tell you earlier that the higher your credit score is, the lower the interest rate is. You can get in a deal at 640 credit score, but you're going to pay for it in your interest rate. Make sure your credit score is close to 7 or 720 is really where you start seeing really good pricing going forward. Have a smart structure in place that lowers your payment from day one. Don't be overzealous with your rent estimates. Be on point. Be realistic. Tie that realistic rent to your purchase. If the numbers don't jive at 1.25 or better, maybe it's time to walk away and go find another deal. Have an operator mindset to grow your income and cut out your waste. Stop acting like a borrower, act like a CEO. This is your company. Each of these houses is a company for you. You need to run it as lean as you possibly can to make as much money as you can. You're in the business to make money. A scaling strategy. It could be through BRRRR. It could be through ground up construction to where you're building and renting. You can do refis off of the BRRRR method. You can do a portfolio if you want to. You have to be cautious on which program or which scaling strategy you use and be very familiar with the ins and outs and the ups and downs of each of them. They all have pitfalls and they all have great things. But if you're not educated, it won't work. Guys, question here. Which one of these 3 strategies are you most likely to try on your next deal? Foundation, Accelerator, or Multiplier? And what's one DSCR question you still have that I haven't answered? Love to be able to see those questions in the comments. If this video helped you guys, for you to think differently about DSCR loans, please do me a favor. Follow, subscribe to the Chasing Financial Freedom podcast. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the deep dive going forward. And share this with one investor. All I'm asking is one investor who's stuck because their bank keeps on saying no. You're not just chasing doors, you're chasing real financial freedom. All right, guys, stay safe, stay healthy. I'll see you guys on the other side.